talk about refs in the game. I think in the game Man City and Wolves, there was some decision. There was a controversial referee decision, and I don't know what you guys think about refs and the game. Do you think refs are changing the game? What do you think about the calls and in terms of consistency? Because yesterday it was controversial, and today we saw some other decisions in the Chelsea game today and also in the Arsenal United game. What do you think about the officiating yesterday from the ref first?
The officiating from that ref yesterday was really good. He stuck with his guts, which is very important. And you see, the main issue with VAR and the problem with VAR is only supposed to intervene when they think it is a clear and obvious error. And it is a recommendation for the referee to go to the monitor to see and to get better angles and decide if he wants to change his on-field decision. But for some reason, there's a disconnect whereby the referees always assume that if the VAR says they should go to the screen, it means that he got the initial decision wrong. I don't know, maybe because they assume there are 3 referees sitting in the room and okay, there are 3 people like me, so they can't be wrong. I don't know. But yesterday, that wasn't the case. The guy went there. That's what VAR was introduced for. He went there to go and look at it, and he still decided that his original decision was right. And everyone agreed with it, and I think it was the right decision. It was refreshing to see that this referee is actually owning the responsibility of being in charge of the game rather than VAR interference.
So are you saying that sometimes VAR interference creates a bias for the ref?
Yes, it does. A combination of it creates a bias for the ref, and also it's like the on-field referees are scared. You know, one of the problems with VAR is they use referees. They use like 3 referees extra. I don't know. It's time they added someone that just has footballing knowledge, you know, as an alternate person to look onto. That will give them a different view. They may see something that they are not seeing because they don't play. And now, you know, Tunde is telling us that guy played football, like, you know, was semi-professional. It now makes sense because as a semi-professional footballer, he knows that this is wrong, and he stuck to his instincts, and it was really good to see.
The guy played in the football league. He even played in Spain before he retired. He retired early, and that showed in how he officiated the game yesterday, because he understands how the game is played. The main issue with VAR has been that there are 2 referees officiating the game, which creates a problem. And even one of these senior referees already said in one time that, something around, I have to protect my mate. So You are in the VAR room and you feel like this person has made a mistake. I would have officiated that differently. And you're trying to call the person to officiate it the way you would have officiated it. I don't know if you've ever listened to the VAR recordings. You would know from the way the VAR is talking whether they want the referee to change their decision or not. There's a way they start the conversation. And and I've listened to a lot of those things, and you will be like, even if you are the referee, you'll be like, I must have messed up with the way this person is talking. Like the foul on Doku last weekend. The VAR already decided for the referee that is not a bad tackle. The referee saw that, yes, there was a tackle that looks like potential red, and on the VAR was saying that he checked there was no force involved. He stopped before he kicked in. You're already defending the foul, trying to make the referee still stick to his yellow card. Why don't you just say, go to the yellow monitor and watch again? Let the referee decide that. Don't decide for the referee. Because now we have 2 referees officiating, and both of you want to agree on a decision, which is not fair.
Michael, do you have a different take?
I don't know, it's same take. I agree with you guys. I think the main issue with VAR and the referee is that the referee on the field has one view. It happens in seconds, right? It happens in seconds. The tackle, penalty, these are like actual game-changing events that are happening in seconds. So he has one view that happened 2 seconds ago, but the VAR person has multiple screens, multiple angles. So I understand the referee is always deferring to the VAR person, like, okay, this person has multiple, he has seen maybe 2-3 shots of this, so he feels like, okay, this is correct. But the referee did yesterday is good. We need something like that in the game, because sometimes there are some penalty calls that will just be feeling bad for the player. Like, what do you want this person to do? Like, let some actual people who have actually played ball, who know that there are some kind of situations that there's nothing the player really can do in that situation.
Yeah, well, I feel like now we're making it seem like VAR is bad. But let's not forget why we have VAR in the first instance. It's because VAR was brought to improve the game. So if we're now saying that VAR is causing an interference that is affecting the officiating of the game, are we now calling that, okay, we don't need VAR anymore? Or we're just saying, okay, let's get people with better football knowledge in the VAR?
No, we're not saying that VAR is bad. I think the problem with VAR is the lack of consistency. A lot of times precedence is set and the referees don't stick to that precedence, or VAR doesn't stick to that precedence, and that's where the problem lies, because as fans we'll see that, oh, Chelsea got away with it, and then Arsenal will not get away with it, or Man U got away with it, and then Arsenal will not get away with it. That's the problem. If the consistency is there, there are a lot of times VAR works very, very well. And then to simplify it, like every handball decision should be sent to the screen.
I think so too.
And because Dogu today, if that ref had gone to the screen, he would have given that penalty. 100%. The VAR official insinuated to the ref that, oh yeah, I'm happy with the on-field decision, no handball, and that was it. Like, so quick.
I personally feel that, and I don't want to say we didn't play well, but I will get to that later on, because last season, Merino shot a ball that deflected off Kai Havertz and in his normal position, and the referee ruled that it was a foul.
And we know deflections are not supposed to be penalties.
No, even like we scored the goal against Aston Villa last minute. Merino shot the ball hit his arm while he was standing normally. It wasn't like he stretched his hand in any way. The referees ruled that it was VAR that called referee and said it was a foul, so the goal was ruled out. Today, while Doku was doing the 1-2, his arm moved the ball, and the same VAR said, oh, I'm happy with the on-field decision. So, and that's the consistency we are talking about, because you can't call something like last season and this season is because the rule before was that if the ball touches your hand in any way and the same player scores, it is considered a foul. But if the ball goes to someone else and it's an accidental touch on the arm, then it's not a foul. So if Dogu still was the one that scored that ball, it's a foul. That was the law before. If he had passed the ball to someone else and that person scored, it's not a foul. That was the law before. Even the commentator was saying that, oh, he touched Dogu's hand, this will be ruled out. The next thing was that VAR decided for the referee. And that's what I was talking about. The VAR officials refereeing the game, how they would have, like, more like putting your own personal opinion. And it's those small calls that make VAR look like VAR is bad, because you do one for it happens against Man City, then Liverpool plays, it doesn't happen, then Chelsea plays, it happens, then Aston Villa plays, it doesn't happen. Like, we can't have inconsistencies, especially when we are saying that we are ruling out subjective calls. Then there's still this much inconsistency.
My own conclusion is this is balance each other. They balance each other out. Because the only
thing, I don't think it balances each other out eventually. And the reason why I say that is that, like, officiating is a big part of football, and referees try to be part of the game, which I don't like. Just officiate the game and go. Objectiveness of football, that's why they brought VAR. But we're not having VAR officials now becoming like a second referee on the pitch, also deciding. I'm okay if a referee made a mistake on the pitch. What I'm not okay with is if VAR referee now makes that same mistake, because you have the technology, you have multiple angles, you even have the rule book, you can quickly check what does the rule say, but you still make the same mistake. But one other thing that I think Paul Tini and Don Taylor said as well is that, like, senior referees, when they are in the VAR room, younger referees are afraid. So once VAR calls something, they feel that the senior referee must have seen it in a different light, so they tend to agree with the senior referee.
Which makes sense, and that's bias I'm talking about. So in terms of changing, maybe one thing to change is to kind of balance the level of experience between the VAR and the onside. Yes,
I agree as well.
Already, that system is kind of rigged already. So one way is to balance that level of experience.
I think they should put two players, one from each team to be in the VAR room with them too. Let there be.
What become a boxing match?
That will be heated.
I'm serious. Let him be send an ex-player. Let him be send an ex-player to defend because the VAR room can decide your fate easily. The season that Arsenal was very close and we lost with 2 points. We played Brentford at home. Brentford equalized in the last minute, and VAR drew the offside line from the wrong player. Apparently, the guy that scored the goal was offside, but VAR drew the line from a player that was onside. PGMO came to apologize after, but we lost 2 points. We lost the league by 2 points. So I'm just saying that if there was someone in the room that was like, oh, Mr. Man, you are drawing the line from a wrong player, maybe we would have preserved that win. Because imagine PGO, we lost 2 points based on VAR drawing line from a wrong player. Look at the Liverpool-Tottenham game.
Do you think that in that Arsenal did not benefit from any VAR call?
Trust me, we did not, because that season was even PGMO had to stop apologizing. Remember, Mike, they apologized to Arsenal
they were
3
constantly
times.
apologizing.
To Arsenal that they had to stop apologizing generally. So there were 3 games
I feel like it balances out.
I'm just saying that year was our worst.
Really balances out.
I'm not saying that year was like the year that we had like VAR just us and Nottingham Forest. Nottingham Forest even had to write a petition to PGMOL that this is intentional. There were like 9 points that VAR literally took from Arsenal. And we lost the league by 2 points. So for Arsenal, when we lost, the ball was in. When it was our own turn, the ball was out. And it was still the same subjective decision.
I think we need a special day to talk about the
VAR,
injustices that has been done to Arsenal that has prevented them from winning.
No, I don't call them injustices because I know it's not injustice. I'm just saying that the inconsistencies is just so much that it could be the thin line between whether you win the league or not.